Hey there. So today I'm going to show you how I got this drum sound. So I wanted a big sound for this, so I used a big kit, obviously 1971 Ludwig maple kit, 26-inch kick drum, 14-inch floor tom, Tama 14x6 Starphonic aluminum snare, and Zildjian K-Con cymbals. For the mics, it's just two mics, an AKG D112 on the kick, and a Coles 4038 on the overhead, both through Neve 1073 preamps. Since it's just two mics, I had to be really careful with the placement of this overhead. That's the number one thing for this drum sound. This is handling the lows, but this had to be a really balanced sound between the cymbals, snare, and kick. So what I did was use my isolating headphones. I just played and listened to the mix of this through those. Moved it around a little bit, tried it up, tried it down. And eventually I kind of ended up on this. It's half, pointing to the snare, but kind of pointing towards this wall here. And what that does is really misses some of the harsher, heavier transients from the snare and cymbals. It's a softer, warmer sound. And it just felt balanced here between the cymbals, snare, and kick. So that's what I went with. All right, so now I will show you what I did in the mix. This is the overhead mic here. I am cutting some extreme lows. I have a dynamic EQ at 64 and then pulling some of the boxiness around 144. Next in the chain, I used reverb, and I wanted it here in the chain because I wanted to compress it later. So I wanted the sound of the drums in the room to be compressed. So that's why I put the reverb here. After reverb, I used a FabFilter Saturn for some tape saturation, adding some drive in the mid band and the high band. On the kick, I used a 1073 EQ. I'm adding some highs, pulling some 360, and adding some lows, and then again the FabFilter Saturn to add some drive to that kick drum as well. Okay, this is a super important part, the drum bus compression. I am putting both the kick mic and the overhead mic through an LA3A, hitting it really hard, smashing it, getting all the energy out of those mics, pulling the sound from the room and that reverb plugin that I put on there. And then I am hitting a Distressor, not for compression, but I'm using the distortion 2 mode to add some additional harmonic saturation. All right, so there you have it. That's the drum sound. Pretty simple. Mic placement, EQ, compression, saturation. But the number one thing I think for this is kind of mic placement. And that's what I spent a lot of time on, was just placing that mic, finding a good sweet spot for it. So yeah, I would encourage you to do that in your own studio. A lot of people think you have to be in a big studio and an awesome room to get a good drum sound, which obviously is going to help a lot. But one thing you can do at home is, use time to your advantage. You have unlimited time at home. You're not paying for studio time. So you can really mess around with mic placement, find spots that work. I've tried things in the kitchen. You can put a mic in the dishwasher. You could give a mic to your dog and have him run around the house with it. I don't know. Whatever you want to do. Just try different things and find a sound that's unique to you in your spot. So hope you enjoyed this. Hope you learned something, and we'll see you next time. Peace.